All right, great to see you today. Thanks for joining me. I want to share with you what skin rejuvenation is about and how the photofacial RF fits into all that. So skin rejuvenation is more than just about paralyzing muscles so you can't move or plumping up the skin. Those are fillers. Skin rejuvenation, we actually want to transform the skin into something that's better. And of course, we want to look better as well. We want it to be healthier and almost like at a younger state. And that's what we're trying to get it to. And I want to let you know that those things can be possible. There are also things, of course, that you can do that worsen your skin, such as laying out in the sun without protection, smoking, just exposing yourself to harsh chemicals. All of those things that can be negative. So there are the negative things and then there's the positive things. The photofacial RF is one of those positive things. So when we rejuvenate skin, there's a few things that we're typically looking for. A lot of that happens to be cosmetic, is the main driving force, and that's the spots. Brown spots, red blotchiness, spider veins on the skin, those things that you don't like to see that are developing as you age. Sometimes by the time you're in your 30s, definitely by your 40s, we notice those things and you want to help clear that so your skin may appear brighter, clearer, possibly smoother as well. A lot of women say they require less makeup. It gives them freedom, where they don't feel like they have to cover their skin with a lot of makeup before they go out. So that's what we want to do with skin rejuvenation. And the benefit of the treatment we're doing, the photofacial RF, is that it's not just about erasing the spots, it's also about rejuvenating the skin. So I'm going to show you the treatment head here. This is placed directly on the skin as we do this treatment. And right there in the middle there's a crystal where a intense pulse light comes out of. And that light energy, it's kind of like a laser, but it's not, laser is one wavelength, it's a broad spectrum of light. And it does generate heat on the skin, especially if there is a dark blemish. And so this is similar to if you're outside in the parking lot and you walked around to different cars that were different colors. And so the dark brown car or the black car, if you put your hand on it, it feels very hot because that sun has been shining on it, and the dark color absorbs that heat and it gets really hot. But you go to the white car or the yellow car, the lighter colored car, and they feel maybe just barely warm or maybe still feel cool. And so they don't absorb the light energy as much as the darker car. However, they've been in the same parking lot and they've been under the same sun for the same amount of time, and they absorb the light energy differently. So that's what this skin rejuvenation is doing. The light pulse is hitting your skin, the darker blemishes are absorbing the light energy, and as they heat up in that brief milliseconds, the bad cells of the pigment end up heating so much that they coagulate, they kind of get damaged or burned. And meanwhile, the normal skin around it is preserved and left alone because it's a lighter color. It doesn't absorb the light energy. And so the darker areas are basically broken up, it dries up to the surface and it falls off. And you've removed that blemish. So that's the basic thing, I've simplified it. There's a lot more to that, but that's the basic premise of how that works. The difference though with this photofacial RF is there's a RF part, which is radio frequency, and that's there's a metal electrode on each side of this. And so there is a electrical pulse that is transmitted at the same time as the light pulse. And that electrical pulse isn't just absorbed on the surface like light energy. Light energy, if it hits the surface, it's absorbed on the surface, and as you go deeper, it dissipates and it is not as effective. So you're not really affecting the collagen or the deeper layers of the skin that may help with texture in your pores, right? The light energy is just being used on the surface to get rid of the superficial blemishes. But with the electrical pulse on the photofacial RF that we do, actually penetrates deeper, and it goes down 1.5, even 2 millimeters below the surface of the skin, and it stimulates the collagen. It generates heat, and when you heat collagen over 45 degrees Celsius, there is a contraction of collagen, and there's a stimulation for repair and remodeling. There's something called heat shock protein. So the skin, the cells that detect the heat, and it reacts to that, and it releases growth factors to come and help restore and improve that collagen. So in the studies, what they found was that it would take 5 or 6 treatments or more, sometimes 7 or more, with regular light pulse treatments such as IPL photofacials. But they found that when they combined it with an RF pulse, the electric pulse with the light pulse, that within half the treatments, they had at least the amount of clearance that the old light-only treatment would do. So whereas a normal generic photofacial broadband light type treatment might take 5 or 6 treatments, we're seeing it in maybe 2 or 3 treatments, the same type of result. The other big thing was that in the studies with IPL, intense pulse light, previous studies, they would do a series of treatments and they really wouldn't see much change in texture, fine lines, or pores. So they would always have to add an additional laser to that. They would do a 1064 long pulse laser, just what are other things that were available at the time to try to go deeper and stimulate collagen. But it would give some improvement, but it was just a minor amount. And they found, but it was accepted at the time. But when we do this photofacial RF treatment, the RF energy actually improves the pores and the texture several times more than double of what the other type of treatments would give as far as improvement in texture and pores. So those are things seen in the studies, and that's why for us this is a superior treatment. It's a great treatment. It does have to be performed carefully. We have to know how to read your skin type, your skin color, and those type of things. Also, we have to make sure you don't have melasma. That's why we always do a computerized facial scan in our Visia device. It takes the picture of your face from different angles with different lighting, polarized lighting, ultraviolet lighting, to look deeper in the skin to see if you have a condition called melasma. So melasma is something else. It's a brown patch. It's almost like a shadow that you can barely see. Sometimes it's very obvious. It's caused by abnormalities in the body and with the hormones and other issues, stress, thyroid issues, adrenal gland issues can lead to that. Taking birth control, pregnancy can cause melasma to really show up. But if you do the wrong treatment on melasma, you can make it a lot worse, right? And then we'll end up having to treat it. We have an FDA-approved treatment called the Spectra for that, and that'll be discussed on a separate video, separate page. But for the photofacial RF, we make sure you don't have melasma. We always screen you really carefully for that, and then we deliver the treatment. Ideally, you don't want to be in the sun recently. We don't want you to be tanned. After you do the treatments, you don't want to go back in the sun, because again, that's like a negative laser. You're actually damaging your skin when you go out in the sun without good protection. You know, you've got to wear zinc and titanium based sunblocks. Do not use the chemical sunscreens, which actually can disrupt your hormone balance. So don't use avobenzone, oxybenzone, helioplex. All the chemical ones causes a lot of hormone disruptions in people, and as well as damaging the environment. So use zinc and titanium to protect your skin, which has really great UVA and UVB protection. So for the photofacial RF, we don't want you to have recent sun exposure. It's better that you don't have a appreciable or significant tan on you. And the treatments are performed approximately once a month. It can vary by a few days, a week or two on each side of that, but it's usually about once a month. And we do at least 3 to 5 treatments. It just depends on the amount of discolorations and how old you are, the health of your skin. But it really brings up the health of the skin. The last thing I want to bring up is there have been studies using light energy, like the photofacial RF, and showing how it actually stimulates your cells and the DNA to start expressing like they did when they were younger. So as we age, our DNA, it's the same DNA when you're young or you're old. It's just that when you were younger, the DNA was expressing a lot of proteins and signals to tell the skin to be thicker, more elasticity, be more hydrated, have better immune support. But as you get older, those things kind of shut down, less immune support. So you start growing weird blemishes, less elasticities, it starts getting thinner, less hydration, and the skin kind of declines because it's just not active, it's shutting down. But after these treatments with this light energy, it turns out the skin, of course, looks better. It starts to behave like it's younger and better. And it's because it's not just a Photoshop effect, it's not just a superficial cosmetic effect. It actually is a change to the skin to become healthier and younger. And in the studies, it showed that the DNA gene expression actually changed back to a younger state. It started to express what it did when it was much younger. So in that sense, it is more of an actual anti-aging type treatment. So we love the treatment. If you don't have melasma, great treatment. With melasma, you can still do it, but you risk melasma possibly getting worse. Some people accept that possibility and they don't mind. But photofacial RF, great treatment, great way to improve the health of your skin, make it younger appearing, make it act like it's actually healthier and younger. And when people do the treatments and they do maintenance over the years, we've seen people 5, 10, 15 years that have kept the maintenance, and the health of the skin looks like hasn't changed. It looks like it's the same age. Whereas everybody around you is aging and declining, your skin is actually improving and then maintaining that. And so that's what we love to see. People look amazing years and years after, once they start the treatment. And it's basically, for a lot of people, it's their secret to their beauty and their health and the longevity of their skin. So looking forward to seeing you in the office. Photofacial RF is a great treatment. If it's appropriate for you, come see us. Our consultant and our medical providers can help determine if it's right for you. Take care.